thank you to all of you for your efforts and hardship and all the struggle that set up the wind turbine.
3 years after a group of Hartford High School students first got together to bring electricity to a remote region of Nepal, one villager has made the long journey to Connecticut to say thank you.
Please keep continued support to his area and hometown.
In 2013 and again in 2015, Hartford students at the Academy of Engineering and Green Technology built sustainable power systems for remote villages in Nepal. In 2017, a third group of students made it their goal to bring renewable energy to another village. Hartford students utilized their math, engineering, and manufacturing knowledge to design, build, test, and package the wind turbines and solar panels, then ship them to Nepal to be installed. The hybrid solar panel wind turbine system helps light classrooms and power laptops for students. But a lack of funding put this year's group behind schedule early on, with even higher stakes. Nepal's government agreed to send life-saving vaccines to the village only if they could generate enough electricity to power a refrigerator needed to store the medicine.
We didn't have the funding for a long time, and as a result, we had to start the project a lot later than we had hoped, and the deadline was actually almost pushed back, which would have been catastrophic for the project.
Catastrophic because the installation team had to complete its work before the snow closed the mountain passes in November.
In Nepal, there will be snow from November until March, and they will be trapped in the mountains, so this needs to be done in a very timely fashion.
Which is really, really complicated, especially for those who live in a first world country going to a third world country where they have to burn yak feces or burn twigs around the huts in order to keep warm for the winter.
The struggles of the isolated Nepali villagers are not lost in these young adults who live in a world filled with technology.
The fact that this is the first time in their lives that they may be able to flip a light switch and have light, and it's that easy for them for the first time ever, it's still a little mind-boggling. But the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it, and the more I can really sympathize with them for having been in the dark for so long, literally.
Before, I never used to really think about the electricity and all the stuff that I have now because I was always given it, but knowing that there's other countries who barely have half of what I have, it makes me more grateful for the things that I currently have now.
My family taught me that helping other people, it's really good, and have the opportunity to help another person, knowing that when you're doing something good, it's pretty amazing. It's a good feeling.
With the clock ticking to beat the November snowfall in Nepal, the students wait for parts to arrive and get to work on constructing the turbine. All the while, they're learning how to balance this important project with the realities of being a teenager in high school.
We're having internships and other jobs because we need money in order to have things that we want, and also we're learning how to fend for ourselves and learning how to become adults in the working world.
Most of our team, they do extracurricular activities such as sports and other clubs that we have at our school. So it was hard for us to come together as a group sometimes, to sit down and have one meeting and exchange information.
Because for me and a lot of majority of the people that was there, we missed our whole spring break in order to come and work on the inverter and to work on the stuff for Nepal, and we also give up our weekends as well.
With less than a month until the system needed to be shipped to Nepal, a key piece of equipment, the inverter, arrives and nearly brings the whole project to grinding halt.
The key piece to our whole system, the inverter, came broken.
There was dents everywhere. There was dents on the outside of the box. The panel that came with it was bent all the way in. Then we took off the lid of the inverter to see what was damaged inside. We saw parts that were broken on the inside. Some parts were disconnected.
Then we had to figure out, should we just fix the inverter or just get a new one? We were kind of teetering because if we got a new one, we thought it was going to take a long time to get here.
We thought about trying to repair the inverter because we didn't think that we would have enough time in order to get a new inverter, and that came with some problems because we didn't know what was damaged. We didn't really know how to fix the inverter, and then we were scared that if we banged out the dents that it would cause more dents or damage the inverter further.
After multiple phone calls and internet searches, a new inverter was found a week later, and the students begin the final preparations for the system's long journey. Each component had to be wrapped and packed to survive the journey, as well as labeled in Nepali, along with directions to construct the system. A few weeks later, the turbine was packed and loaded on a truck, and the long waiting game began. Would the system make it to the village of Tinge intact? And would it work? 7,000 miles away, 13,000 feet high in the Himalayas. Finally, in mid-June, word came from Nepal.
When I heard that the system was working, I felt a lot of relief. The whole underlying fear of this entire project was that we would do everything correctly and everything would go very smoothly, and then it just wouldn't work and we'd be kind of stuck because that's the only system we had for this whole year. And then, like I said earlier, they would be stuck until March. So that was very relieving, and it definitely gave me a sense of calm that we didn't have to worry about it anymore.
It's a good feeling to know that you've helped the country and the village halfway around the world, and to give them energy and to give them electricity in order to have basic supplies like stuff for their school, like laptops for their school, internet, electricity, so they can at least watch at least 2 hours of TV, and most importantly, the vaccines and the medicine that was kept in a refrigerator that really needed electricity badly.
These Hartford High students want the world to know that projects like Nepal 3.0 aren't only benefiting the villagers halfway across the world, they have a huge impact on the students involved with the project.
I think all these projects that we do on my academy, it's inspired all the students to achieve their goals and help another persons to have life and have a wonderful life is pretty amazing.
I learned that the answers aren't going to be given to you. You have to figure it out by yourself, whether you like it or not.
It's greatly raised my self-esteem, because before I didn't really think I could do anything. It was that I had to rely on someone. And that was a skill that I greatly needed to work on.
In the workforce, your boss is going to ask you to do something, and you're going to have to figure it out by yourself. This experience really helped me realize that.
A lot of the projects that we do here at Hartford High, they're either for the community or they help Hartford High in some way. However, this Nepal project is really the most altruistic thing we've ever done.
They hope more people will consider funding efforts like this project that help students realize their full potential, shape perceptions of themselves, and guide their career goals.
Not only does it help a country cross the world, it also makes you feel better as a person, knowing that you're giving money and time into a project that's helping those who are less fortunate, and also helping kids to better understand their full potential and what they can and cannot do in a working environment and also within a team.
Before I had declared a major, I was really kind of unsure of what I wanted to do. I knew I had something to do with engineering. However, this project really made it so that I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Having had my hands on this experience really gave me some perspective on just exactly what I can do with these skills.
The Nepal project changed the way of thinking and the way of work as a team. I would like everyone to join clubs, help others, and help their career.
We should definitely fund projects like this. Not only does it help the students here realize their own potential, but it helps other people around the world.
I want everyone to know that Hartford High is worth the trouble, worth the funding, is worth the effort.
To learn more about how you can support the next Nepal project, contact Dale Walker at dale.walker@cbia.com.